Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderfall Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we've got a couple more of the Warscrolls revealed for the Orruk Warclaims battle tome that is soon to come out. Rumoured date is at the moment September 25th, same day as the Age of Sigmar app is about to launch. Whether or not that is the pre-order date or the actual release date, unsure on, but that's what's been rumoured around. So I guess take that with a grain of salt, but that is the general thought of when we will see the new battle tomes drop. Now, here today we've got the Megaboss or Mawkrusha kit, also including Godrak, the Fist of Gork, the named character warboss for Orruk Warclans, and we've got there 2 Warscrolls. Now there's some interesting changes along these couple of Warscrolls that we're going to talk about today and just sort of go through and give some ideas and thoughts on what this might mean for the rest of Orruk Warclans. So first of all, we can look at both of these Warscrolls here, and I think there's 2 main features here that stick out, and that is, of course, their save is now a 4+ rather than a 3+. This is massive because, of course, a 3+ saves means you can get down to that magical 2+ save with things like Mystical Shield, or you're using your Finest Hour, or using a command point for all that defense, etc. So a 4+ is a massive difference in that. Now, I will say I did see some really interesting thoughts on a couple of Orruk Warclan players that I know pretty well, and their thought was maybe the Megaboss or Mawkrusha on the non-named variation. Maybe there'll be a mount trait in one of the Iron Jaw sub-factions that allows you to get +1 save or something simple like that. That'll make this really interesting. Even then though, if that doesn't change the actual characteristic, it's not going to allow you to get that 2+. But that's just something. However, they have, while they've gone up their save, they all have gained some extra wounds. So the Megaboss or Mawkrusha was previously 15 wounds, he's gone up to 18, and Godrak, I believe, was previously 16 wounds, correct? And he's now gone up to 20. So we've gained quite a few wounds on each of them. This really is going to maybe make the difference. I don't know whether this is just better calculation and making more things happen, but it'd be really interesting to see how they sort of go with those changes to save and wounds characteristic for the 2 models. Now, looking at the rest of the profile, the first thing that stuck out to me was this is the first monster profile we've seen out of any of these Warscrolls that have been packaged in the new box sets, the repackaged box sets for these models, and there's no damage table here. Things that we generally think are damage table items in these particular models aren't actually affected. So we've got things like Godrak, where he normally goes down on his Mighty Fist and Tails, on his Mawkrusha and all of that, and the Megaboss as well going down. We haven't got that particular dash in here. So and however, its starting attacks does number it the same as what the top brackets would now, although yeah, they do name it the same top bracket. So let's go have a look though through these different profiles. For first of all, a lot of them didn't actually change. They haven't got the massive rend increases that we've seen for Stormcast Eternals. And I've seen a lot of people complaining that maybe they're not getting the buffs that Stormcast did, but I think it's interesting to point out where the 2 armies were. Orruk Warclans were definitely in a much better place than Stormcast Eternals were at the end, and their books definitely are in very different places in the meta. I think Orruk Warclans are one of the armies that has a clear identity in the game. It knows exactly what it wants to do and in what it is trying to do, while Stormcast definitely need a ton of help to make their book work in the way the narrative suggests that they should. And that's why we've been seeing all the armor save bonuses and getting some extra rend and making those Stormcast feel like heroes. It's also worth mentioning that the Stormcast, while they're getting all these buffs, we know they are going to get significant point increases in their books. There were some leaked points values, or rather not leaked, you can go find this on the How to Play Age of Sigmar 3rd edition video that Games Workshop put up, and you can see some of the point values for Stormcast Eternals there. So, looking at this, the profile hasn't changed much. The one thing I've noticed has changed is the damage characteristic more than anything on the profile. So we've now got this flat 2 damage on all their weapon profiles, their original ones, so you've not got any more damage D3, which can be either, it can spike to be really good, but it can also, you know, roll much worse when you roll a bunch of 1s on those 4D3, and all of a sudden it's 4 damage when, if you had 2 damage, it would be 8 standard. I think the change to 2 standard is just better. Less D3s on all this random stuff on your main attacks is just better, because it means that monster's guaranteed to do more consistent damage. The other main change as well on their damage characteristic is both the Mawkrusha's attacks on both profiles went up to damage 3, which is really nice. They maintained their 3s and 3s Ren 2, and they've also got 9 attacks or 8 attacks when they're up at full strength, which is really sweet. I also think maybe we might see with the extra wounds, we'll see their damage profiles that are probably not pictured here. Seeing them having to take more wounds like we have with more recent monsters, things like the gargants and all that, we're having to do at least half the damage to a monster to actually start bracketing that monster. Now the last thing here is, of course, we're not seeing special rules on these War Scrolls, and we're not even seeing those tables of decreasing efficiency, the normal tables we would see on monsters. So my thought is they're definitely not going to go away with those tables because they've just released a spell that makes it so your monster fights on top bracket, so that's not going to go away. However, I think this is the time where we start to see rules becoming less freely available for Age of Sigmar. I think we're just going to get these basic stat blocks for free, and then you're going to have to pay to see any of the other rules, whether that's in Battle Tome or in any other variation. I think that's how we're heading for the game. Maybe not, maybe the Age of Sigmar app, but once again, that's going to be behind a paywall in Warhammer Plus now. We'll have all the War Scrolls for free, and that would be really cool to keep doing that. If that's all you're having to pay, so a small amount to get all your War Scrolls for free like we currently do, I think that's the best world we're going to live in. But the alternative is we're going to have to be buying battle tomes for every army and then unlocking all their rules and stuff in the app, much like you have to do for Warhammer 40k. But anyway, these two new War Scrolls, I think they're interesting, and they're showing that maybe not a lot is going to change in Orruk Warclans compared to the Stormcast Eternals. So it'd be really interesting to see how this all sort of unfolds for them. Anyway, let us know what you think of the changes to Godrak and the Megaboss, especially the wounds and armor safe. I think that's the big talking point on these. And also, you know, the lack of a damage table and all that. Do we think how we're going to see all the rules dispersed in the game now? Let us know in the comments below. Well, thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, if you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine community here at Cinderfall Gaming, you can do so by coming and joining our Discord, of which there is a link in the description of the video to go and join. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by Patreon, YouTube members, or by going and purchasing some merch on our Teespring store. You can find the links to all three in the description of the video, once again, to Patreon, YouTube members, and to our merch store on Teespring. But also, we'd like to give a special shout out to everyone who helps support the channel via Patreon and YouTube members. So, thank you to our patrons Christian Weir, James, Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, Tim Newman, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, MJ, and Dynat226. And a special thank you as well to our YouTube members Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Steve T, The Real Zeop, Chris Wallace, Turai12, Vinny, Lock Lorick, Matt Mollin, Becca Kinski Groupie, The Johnny84, and El Mapache. Thank you as well, a special thanks especially to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel. Absolute legend of a person. And then thank you as well to the legend that is Xmorphic. He does so much amazing work in the background of our Discord server, making sure everything works and looks nice and pretty there for us all to enjoy. So that's enough said from me though. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.